So you're ready to start a YouTube channel finally. Yay! Let's make sure you don't waste that shot. Because the funny thing is with YouTube is that failing is really easy to do on YouTube. There are endless ways to fail on YouTube. But success, that actually comes down to just a few key elements you need to follow. I've lived these truths myself, and they're the same truths I teach my clients, the ones who are now growing real channels, hitting monetization, and building sustainable businesses from YouTube. This isn't theory, this is what works. The ones who follow these tips grow, the ones who ignore them stay stuck. So I'm breaking down exactly how it works, no fluff, no wasted time, let's do this and let's jump in. But fair warning, some of these truths are going to sting a little bit. And the first one, it might just completely flip what you've been told about YouTube success. So if that sounds good to you, stick around. Okay, brutal truth number one, it's a marathon. YouTube is a marathon, but here's the funny thing, you can sprint it. Yes, YouTube is a marathon. Anything you want to do long-term is. And I used to preach that on my channel too, all the time, to give you hope. But actually, I don't believe it. I don't believe that it needs to take years to get monetized or years to build a business, because it just simply isn't fact for me or my experience or a lot of those creators that I work with. So I want to challenge you to sprint this YouTube journey in the beginning, because if you sprint it, you will get where you want to go so much faster and be more likely to sustain growth afterwards, because it gives you the confidence, the motivation and inspiration and drive that you are doing things right when things are working out for you, right? I got monetized in 10 weeks. Had my first coaching client in 4 months of starting my channel, and started making consistent 10K months by month 6. Take Laura, for example. We worked together for 3 months with her brand new channel, and we honed in on her niche and audience, which increased her sub growth by 6 times, her views increased by 50 times, and by month 4, she had her first paid coaching client. I've seen it time and time again. Why? Because they upload like crazy. They test relentlessly and treat it like a business from day one. And that's why I don't want you to accept the marathon mindset, because it will trick you into slowing down. It will trick you into accepting subpar results, because in your mind, you're like, well, it takes everyone an average of 1.5 years to get monetized on YouTube. That is BS. So, because to be honest, that's average. Yes, that is average, but you don't want to be average, correct? You want to grow and succeed on YouTube faster than average. Average people fail. That might sound harsh, but it's true. It only takes one video to change everything, and interest-based content means that one video can hit faster than ever before. So seize the opportunity now by showing up. But here's the thing, even if you sprint, most creators still crash and burn. And it usually comes down to this one mistake. Brutal truth number 2, most people fail because they don't pick a lane. They are dabblers. Dabblers don't grow. 1 week it's vlog, the next week it's tutorials, then it's random commentary. The algorithm doesn't know what you are about, and neither does your audience. Pick a lane. Plant your flag. Commit to what you want to teach or do or entertain on YouTube. Do you notice how I said the first thing I did when working with Laura was hone her niche? That's where it all begins, in my personal opinion. The channels that struggle are the ones that don't know who they are talking to. And if you don't know who you're talking to, it's almost impossible to make content that connects with those people. Take fitness as an example. If 1 week you're making a video on kids fitness, the next week it's training for athletes, then the next it's for people over 50, those are 3 totally different audiences. Each of those groups has very different needs. They have a different language of the way they describe things, and a completely different type of video that resonates with them. So what happens is you confuse your viewers. A 55-year-old woman who subscribed for low impact strength training for over 50 isn't going to care about your video on explosive sprint drills for college athletes, right? When you try to speak to everyone, you resonate with no one. That's why honing your niche is the very first thing I do with every single client I work with. Because until you know exactly who you're talking to, making the right content is almost impossible. So let's say you've picked your lane. Great. But does that guarantee growth? No, not even close. The next truth is the reason why most average creators pass the talented ones. Brutal truth number 3, consistency beats talent every time. I know you've heard this a lot, but I have seen average creators who post weekly grow way bigger than naturally talented creators who upload once a month. The algorithm rewards consistency, but more importantly, you need the reps. Every upload is training. You can't get better without publishing, period. You can't get fit without working out. You can't expect to do sit-ups once and have a six-pack ab, right? YouTube works the same way. Do you want success? Then you must put in the reps. And honestly, this is one that scares people the most. It's not thumbnails, it's not editing, it's not the algorithm, it's you. Because you are required to do the work, and if you don't do the work, you won't get the results. Brutal truth number 4, nobody cares if you're awkward. They care if you're real. So stop trying to be perfect. If you're nervous, admit it. If you're awkward, own it. You're imperfect. I am imperfect. The authentic self is more magnetic than a fake polished version of yourself. People can smell fake a mile away and they run from it because it's not connecting with them. It doesn't impress them. This is one of the hardest truths to overcome for a lot of people, but everything, and I mean everything, changes if you can step into yourself unapologetically and show up authentically on YouTube. It can take years to find your voice on YouTube, or it can take a day. Many people would probably disagree with me, but again, I have seen this time and time again with the creators I've worked with. We work with overcoming their fears, their limiting beliefs, and then in that moment where they decide, okay, I'm going for it. I have nothing to lose right now. I am so exhausted, I have nothing to lose. Everything changes because they show up as who they are. They just do a raw video and it goes through the roof with their views. Confidence explodes when you can be yourself, and people gravitate towards you tenfold because you're showing up with confidence. Okay, now this next tip might sting a little bit because deep down you already know it's true. Brutal truth number 5, stop lying to yourself about why you're not growing. If your thumbnails are bad, fix them. If your delivery is boring, improve it. If your topics are random, niche down. Most people know their weak spots. They just don't want to face them. But the fastest growing creators are brutally honest about what's holding them back, and they fix it. Take Lori, for example. Storytelling wasn't her strength, but her channel was based on sharing her personal stories and experiences in order to help people. She needed to master this skill to grow her channel. She wanted success with YouTube, so what did she do? Admit where she needed to improve and worked on it. I gave her some resources, edited her scripts to show her what good storytelling looked like, and boom, after a weekend of hard researching, studying, learning, and really honing this skill, her very next video where she implemented those changes exploded and went viral for her. It doesn't need to take years. It takes a moment for you to decide, and that change can happen instantaneously. Doors will open for you as soon as you make that decision. And you have to be brave enough to walk through those doors. And if you've ever blamed YouTube for lack of growth, the algorithm, the platform, whatever, this is going to change the way you see it forever. Brutal truth number 6, the algorithm isn't your enemy. Your content is. The algorithm isn't out to get you. It's out to reward you. It wants you to succeed because if you succeed, YouTube succeeds. If people click and watch, YouTube pushes your videos. If they don't, it doesn't. That's not punishment, it's feedback. And it's fast feedback. So be grateful for how fast the feedback is on YouTube. Not watching videos, not watching videos, not watching videos, watching videos. Okay, pay attention to that one where they were watching videos. What did I do differently? How can I repeat that? Was it the hook? Was it the intro? Was it the scene? Was it my voice? Was I more confident? What was the topic? Maybe I have more confidence around that topic, right? So stop blaming the system and start fixing your content. It's a gift. Most things in life you have to wait weeks, months, years even to get feedback, right? YouTube is instant. Within 24 to 48 hours, you will know if your video was a flop or a success. Use that to your advantage to course correct. It's priceless information. I think we just need to be so grateful when the algorithm is being difficult. It's like being with an awesome professor, a strict professor who's like, nope, didn't make the cut, try again. Nope, didn't make the cut, try again. Yes, you got someone's attention. Okay, pay attention. What did you do, right? Okay, so let's talk about the myth of overnight success because yes, it can happen, but here's the brutal truth about how it actually happens. Brutal truth number 7, it only takes one video, but you'll likely need 50 to find it. Yes, one video can blow you up overnight, but you won't find that video if you quit after 5 uploads. Most breakout videos come after dozens and dozens of videos, right? Every flop is just a rep that gets you closer to that one that will take off. But it can also happen faster. I had one client, Sherry Joe, her second video that she posted when working with me went crazy viral, and she was monetized within a few days of that video posting. Crazy things do happen. So you never know when that one will hit, but know that it will if you stay in the game and steadily improve your game on YouTube. Okay, the next one is the reason why most creators quit right before the breakthrough. And I guarantee you, if you're here only for the money, you won't make it. Brutal truth number 8, money is a terrible motivator. It won't get you through the dip. It won't get you through the times when you're not getting views. If you're here just for AdSense or making money, you won't make it. The dip will eat you alive. The only thing strong enough to carry you through slow growth, self-doubt, and frustration is genuine passion for the topic you are sharing. You need to have a strong why of why you are showing up every day and trudging through the beginning stages of YouTube. If you have that, you can succeed. Now, here's where I might lose some of you, because YouTube isn't free if you want to win. The platform is free, yes, but it is not free to win on YouTube. You'll pay in one of two ways. Brutal truth number 9. If you're not willing to invest, don't expect big returns. YouTube is free to upload, but it's not free to win. You'll either pay with time, years of it, or you'll shorten the curve by investing in mentorships, skills, courses, and tools. I invested before I even started my channel on YouTube. I invested in a $1,000 course. Then in my 4th month, I invested way beyond my means for a mentor, a business mentor, who helped me go from 1K months to over 10K months in 30 days. The thing is, you just don't know how to play the game at a certain level, and you can spend years getting to that level on your own, or you can get a helping hand and get there so much faster. In the last year, I have made almost 200,000 US dollars. That initial investment of $5,000 into my mentor and a little over $1,000 into the course more than paid for itself. And as of today, I have just rebooked to work with my business mentor for another year. It's costing me a bloody fortune. But the value, the education, the advice I receive is priceless because it's coming from a level I know nothing about. But the only way to access that level is to talk to people on that level. And do I think I would be in this position of having made $200,000 in my first year on YouTube if I hadn't hired him? I can 100% tell you, no, I would not. Because I have been an entrepreneur for over a decade and I have never made more than $50,000 in a year. In June, I made $62,000 into my bank account. Invest in yourself. Because here's another truth. If you are not willing to invest in yourself, how can you expect people to want to invest their time to watch your content? I 100% believe you get what you give in life. If you are willing to give to someone to educate yourself to become a better YouTuber, then you will become a better YouTuber and people will be willing to pay you for your services. But even with all that, here's the single greatest separator between those who win and those who don't. Brutal truth number 10. The ones who outlast win. YouTube is a war of attrition. Most people quit too soon, often right before things would have clicked. The creators who win are the ones who stay in the game long after others give up. If you're willing to outlast the frustration, the low views, the doubt, you will win. And you will outlast them if you understand this final brutal truth. Brutal truth number 11. Passion isn't about fun. It's about what you're willing to endure. You've made it this far into the video, and that's why I have reserved this golden nugget for you, because it is the best piece of advice I can give you right now. We've been sold the wrong definition of passion. It's not about how much you love something. It's about how much you're willing to suffer for it. I want to say that again because you need to hear it. Being passionate is not just about how much you love something. It's about how much you are willing to give up in order to do that passion or live that passion. Athletes don't just love their sport. They love it enough to endure brutal training. Entrepreneurs don't just enjoy building businesses. They're willing to sacrifice sleep, comfort, even stability to serve their mission. That's real passion. It's not measured by excitement on the good days, but by how much you keep going on the hard ones. So if you say you're passionate about YouTube, ask yourself, what are you truly willing to endure for it? I was just watching Jane Goodall's documentary last night with my husband, and she sat in the jungle for 5 months, not being able to get close to the chimpanzees she was studying. 5 months, day in and day out, she sat there. Think of all the stuff she was giving up to succeed, to finally be able to interact with the chimpanzees. And she did eventually. And then she had to give up her son. Like, she got divorced. There were so many things that she gave up for that passion. I'm not saying you need to give up your children or get a divorce to live your purpose, but I am saying she had to give up a lot to sit in that jungle for 5 months, day in and day out, in rain, in sun, in mosquitoes, in poisonous snakes everywhere, right? YouTube isn't that bad. So you just need to give up your time. Maybe you need to give up some time with, maybe you just need to give up some Netflix or something like that. So it's not as brutal, but my point is you do need to give up something. So those are the brutal truths. Most people will ignore them. Most people will quit. Probably not you, because you're still here at the end of this video. But if you sprint hard, pick a lane, stay consistent, get real, fix your weak spots, and truly endure for your passion, you will win. This time next year, your life could look completely different, but only if you start now and only if you are willing to endure what it takes. So now you know the brutal truths. The question is, which one hit you the hardest? And more importantly, what will you actually do with that information? Okay, that was serious. Whew. Shake it off. If you enjoyed this video, you will probably enjoy this video where I interviewed my mentor, Harut. You know, the one I just paid a boatload to work with some more. And you'll see why in that video. So as always, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. And if you need any help with growing your channel, I'm launching a brand new program. It's for people that have gotten traction on their YouTube channel already and they're starting to make some income, but it's volatile and they don't know how to make it consistent and persistent for years to come. So how to make a sustainable business with YouTube. So if that sounds good to you, check the description below. There's a link to a video to watch to learn more about my program. I would be honored to work with you. But for now, see you in the next video. Bye for now.